All right, it's time for me to use my table saw, and most of my tools are on wheels because they're too heavy for me to carry them. So I built most of the things to be able to pull out from the wall so that I can use them in the center with more room. Now this table saw has a lot of dust on it because I use it all the time, and I used it last time I came in, so it's still dusty. I hadn't vacuumed it off yet. But I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about it. So the table saw I've had for a long time as well. It's one of my first two, so I probably had it closer to 5 to 6 years now. But it comes with the ability to angle my blade, so I can cut things at angles, and I do that all the time. I bevel, that's what they call my saw blade, a lot to get an angle on my product. And then it has an on-off switch, and for safety it has a key, this yellow piece here that comes in and out, so you cannot turn it on without this key. So I'm going to put it back in because I'm getting ready to use it, but I need to angle the blade. I don't want to cut the straight piece of wood, so I'm going to have to unlock it. So I just flip that top switch there, and then I'm going to take this wheel and just move it all the way over to 45 degrees. That's the highest it can go, so I moved it all the way up. Now I need to lock this back in position, and now I'm ready to work out my measurements on the top. So the piece of wood that I want, I'm going to have it at about 6.5 inches over here. And I'll bring it closer so we can look at the ruler that comes on the tube. So all we're going to do is line up with the line here where I want the ruler to be. So I'm going over here to 6.5, and I'm making sure it's up on the table, and then clamp it down so it stays in position. Okay, now I'm gonna raise the blade up a little, so I need to use this little wand that I talked about earlier that I twisted to get the angle. I need to wind it up and then I need to test it out. I need to place a piece of wood up there so I can see without turning it on how it's going to line up to that piece of wood. So I will be back in just a minute. All right, the planer. It is loud. I have had ringing in my ears from not wearing my safety muffs here. So I need to put these on. And then I'm going to go ahead and run the wood through the planer so it shaves off a little bit off the top and make it smooth. So I will show you the before, then I'll walk to the planer, run it through, and I'll show you the after. Problem, I tripped my power for this device, so I'm gonna have to do a reset and go back and take care of it. So give me a minute. Okay, I'm back. These things happen. So back to the planer. can still sand it. I need to cut the sharp edge off the front for my project. And I also want to sand down the sides because they are rough edges.